With Pikmin 3 Deluxe on its way to Nintendo Switch this October, many people may be getting their first ever taste of the adventures of Alf, Brittany, Charlie, and the eponymous little plant people under their command. And as somebody who played the original on the Wii U non-stop throughout my teenage years, I thought I'd provide some insight for new aspiring explorers out there that are hoping to survive on their journey across planet PNF 404. What is up everybody, I hope you're all good. My name is Peter, and for this video, I thought I'd give a few tips for new players embarking on their Pikmin 3 adventure for the first time, now that the game is coming to a wider audience on the Switch in the form of Pikmin 3 Deluxe. It's pretty self-explanatory, so let's not waste any more time and get into this. Firstly, I wanted to go over the Pikmin themselves. These little guys will follow you around and carry out your orders depending on where you direct them. You can have up to 100 with you on the overworld at a time, and the more you have at your disposal, the stronger of a force you'll become. It's also important to watch out for potential hazards along the way, as this world is out to get them. Over the course of the game, you'll come across 5 different types, all with strengths, weaknesses, and abilities unique to them. For example, red Pikmin generally deal more damage when fighting enemies and are immune to fire hazards, meaning they are ideal for taking on fiery blowhogs, for example. Meanwhile, winged Pikmin can fly over obstacles, which makes them ideal for taking shortcuts when bringing resources back to base. Be sure to get to know each of these properties, and you will be able to maximise the potential of your squadron in no time. Additionally, you are given 3 captains to take control of that your Pikmin can follow around. Because of this, they are able to split up and divide the workload. You will be able to tell them where to go and decide which Pikmin will come with them, and mastering this will enable you to multitask and get things done in a more efficient manner. For example, you could send Alf and a group of blue Pikmin to collect fruit that is underwater, while sending Brittany to another area with yellow and winged Pikmin to grab any fruit that is hanging up high. And while these tasks are going on, you could have Charlie chilling back at the base to gather any Pikmin that come his way. Make sure you don't leave anybody with nothing to do, and you'll be able to carry out tasks more smoothly. Having 3 captains at your disposal is what gets me replaying the game time and time again, as there's always room for improvement when it comes to managing your time and resources effectively. On top of that, be sure to keep an eye out for spicy spray that you'll find in special flowers. Having a few Pikmin allocated to harvesting this handy ingredient will allow you to power up your army to deal devastating damage when fighting tougher opponents. It is also crucial for once again ensuring efficiency, as your Pikmin will also move faster, therefore being able to carry resources back to base much quicker. You may also come across Nectar if you take down these butterfly-like creatures, which will allow your Pikmin to sprout flowers, making them generally more nimble, which always helps. Something else that has been pretty important in the Pikmin series is making sure you keep track of the time. The meter at the top of the screen has always been a series staple, and tells you how much time you have left in an in-game day. Make sure you have enough time to carry out a certain task, and leading up to night time, you'll be given a countdown to round up any stray Pikmin to save them from being left behind, as it's always heartbreaking to see your poor little soldiers get consumed by the vicious wildlife looking for dinner. Be sure to look across the whole map if there's a number on the screen telling you how many Pikmin are not currently following you, then you'll know where to look as you desperately try to save them. As for growing your squadron, I recommend making sure that you don't simply focus on increasing the numbers of just one Pikmin type, as this will result in having an unbalanced force, because the moment you are exposed to that specific Pikmin's weakness, your entire army will fall apart, which is why it's important to vary things up a little. It's always good to try and produce as many of each type as possible, so that you'll be equipped for any situation the game throws at you, whether this takes the form of needing enough of a specific Pikmin type to handle an obstacle that only they can tackle, or a stronger enemy whose weakness depends on using a lot of another type. All Pikmin species end up sharing the same onion, which you can use to store new Pikmin or to summon previously recruited men to your side, so that you can mix and match with all sorts and see for yourself what the best results are. If you feel you need a bit of practice with managing your time more efficiently and getting to know each Pikmin type better, then I recommend checking out the mission mode that comes with the game. This is because you are given a stricter time limit to either collect all the treasure in the area, defeat every enemy on the screen, or wipe out the boss as quickly as possible. Your score will be higher depending on how quickly you complete the challenge. These challenges also allow you to experiment with different strategies that you can apply to the main story once you feel you've improved a bit, and as a result complements it really well in my opinion. Mission mode was my favourite thing to do in Pikmin 3, and the main reason why I've spent so much time on it back in the Wii U days, as I found it extremely addictive as I kept trying to improve my score. If you want to hear more details, there's a video I made ages ago where I talk more in depth about it, so feel free to check it out after you finish watching this video. Pikmin 3 Deluxe also comes with extra content that wasn't present in the Wii U original, such as an epilogue and prologue story featuring Olimar and Louis from the first two entries in this series, which should hopefully provide more context to the story for those that haven't played a Pikmin game before, so be sure to give it a try if you want to learn more about the lore of the franchise as a whole. It also sees the return of the beloved Piklopedia from Pikmin 2, a fan favourite feature which basically serves as the Pikmin universe's version of the Pokédex, where each character provides their own insight on the weird and wonderful creatures you meet and the items you collect along the way. Because of this new addition, be sure to give it a read every now and then, as I'm sure there will be amusing observations made by the characters throughout, giving the world so much more personality than it already has. Anyway, that just about does it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know if this will be your first time giving the Pikmin franchise a go, or if you're a series veteran that's either interested in revisiting it, or holding out for a potential Pikmin 4 somewhere down the line. As one of my favourite games of all time and by far my #1 favourite game from the Wii U, I'm excited at the prospect of it reaching a wider audience, due to how the Wii U ended up performing in the end. If this is your first exposure to Pikmin, I think the third entry is a great starting point, and hopefully if this Switch version does well, then maybe we'll eventually see the release of a fourth entry in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, see you later.